Welcome to the Next Ring podcast. Recording this Wednesday night, February 4th, 4 nights away from Super Bowl 60. This is your host, Adam Brazizi, as always, joined by my co-hosts, Nicholas Calderon and Chris Garabedian. How are we doing, fellas? How are we feeling?
Starting to get nervous. Getting that nervous excitement. But
yeah, exactly. You know, it's like it's starting to not sleep as great because you're too riled up, you're too excited for the game. It's about that time. So
I can't wait, man. I got I'm rocking the Malcolm Butler.
let's go.
It's like a 12, but it's a 21 in honor of probably the greatest Super Bowl in history, Super Bowl 49, and definitely the greatest moment in the history of Super Bowls, especially for your Patriots fan going against the Seahawks. Have you guys seen the videos Portnoy's been retweeting all week about?
Oh my God,
all the Seahawks fans. It's so good.
He's so funny, dude.
It's so good.
those don't get old. Those do not get old. Watching their souls get crushed in front of their eyes. Run it in, repeat, and
repeat. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
It's so funny too. Just on the Portnoy thing, do you hear because you know how he sells this selling the shirts with Richard Sherman's face on it?
No, yes. I didn't see that.
Yeah, like that, you know exactly which face I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He sells a shirt with it on it, and someone sent one to Richard Sherman on Instagram or whatever, and Richard Sherman blocked him immediately.
I love it. Before we get to the bowl, I think we gotta address these Brady comments. I'm pretty pissed about it, honestly. So for those that aren't aware, they asked Brady who he's rooting for, and he basically said, "I don't have a dog in this fight." It's like, dude, come on, man. All you got to do, get you on the Raiders, you just hired Clint Kubiak to be your coach. All you got to do is just be like, the Patriots will always hold a special place in my heart, that region and those fans, and I always like to see them have success. That's all he's got to say. That's all he's got to say.
He has a fucking statue at Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, he's Josh McDaniels is our fucking coordinator. He's buddies with Vrabel. This is every Patriots fan is they're he's their hero, and that was so disappointing to me, man.
No, and no one would blame him if he said, "Yeah, I'm rooting for the Patriots." Everyone's be like, "Yeah, duh."
Yeah. Nothing he could he could literally have been fuck yeah, go Pats, and be like, all right, a Raiders fan's gonna care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Brady must have a short memory because, I don't know, he was here for 20 years. For the first 12 years of his career, we were defending him. All these fans, everyone was defending when everybody was saying Peyton Manning was a better quarterback. And it was all of New England who was back, no, Brady's better. Then when the rest of the world finally tuned in and then obviously supported him all throughout Deflategate, was happy for him when he won his Super Bowl down in Tampa. So it just shows, though. But it's kind of as much as I love Tom for everything that he's done for us as fans, this is going to hurt to say, he's kind of a loser as a person. That's just what it is. That kills me to say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't go
but he kind of is, dude. He kind of is.
It's almost like he's too big, and it's when you get so famous, it's almost he feels like he's above tying himself to us. I hate when he is my time in New England and Tampa. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here with Tampa Bay. You are a New England Patriot. Yeah, I really did not like that, man. It's come on, dude.
Imagine what Robert Kraft
him too.
When he heard that. When he heard that. It's dude, I called you my you're like another son. I built a statue outside of my stadium for you. And that's it? That's it?
Yeah, he's a few more comments like this from people being like, dude, come on, bro. How many things you gonna say to snub the New England region when all you have to do is just make a few comments about how it's always a special place. It doesn't have to be I'll that's all I ever will remember myself as or anything like that. That's the only team I'll ever like. It's obviously you got the Raiders thing going, you play for Tampa, but I don't know, man.
No, that just shows he doesn't care, bro. You don't care about us, you know what I mean? Sad. But
maybe it might be him trying to be all politically correct. I own the Raiders. I can't say I'm rooting for another team. That may be what he's thinking, but realistically, he's being way too politically correct. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no one would blame him at all. That's the craziest part about it. It's bigger news that he didn't say the Patriots than it would be if he just said, yeah, I'm like, I'd love to see the Patriots win. Like, obviously, love that franchise, like 20 years there, great relationships, all that stuff. It's like, yeah, it's bigger news that he said he's not like that he didn't say he was rooting for the Patriots.
Some of his teammates have been dogging him too.
It's awesome.
Brewski and Will Fork were kind of shitting on him a little bit. So, which is like, dude, I mean, when you take it at like a high level, it's like, dude, you've said like how close you are with Kraft. Josh McDaniels is like one of your favorite coaches. You guys are wicked tight. Vrabel was one of your teammates, one of your best friends. It's like, I don't know, but that just shows he doesn't really care. He doesn't really care about it. So, that's all right, Tom. If that's how you feel, good luck. Go do another Pizza Hut commercial, even though you're shoving the TB12 diet up our ass, you friggin' loser.
We'll move on from Brady, like he's moved on from us.
Well done, bro.
But so yeah, I guess before we get into previewing the Pats offense versus Seahawks defense, we want to see if there's any media week stuff came out. Obviously, that was the first piece. Sounds like Maye's shoulder's feeling good. I'm wondering, like, they never really said when he hurt it. I'm wondering if he hurt it in the Texans game and it was bothering him against Denver that whole game, which would explain a lot of those missed throws he had. But yeah, it sounds like he's feeling good. He said he turned the corner, which is great news.
Yeah, I think, well, they definitely can't say that if that happened, Brew, because then that is a nice hefty fine from the NFL for not putting it on the injury report, and we'd probably lose a draft pick. So even if that did happen, they'll never admit that, like him getting hurt in the Texans game and it affecting him, against the Broncos. One thing I saw today that I loved was that Bobby Spillane said he's 100% playing on Sunday, because that's
Did he? Okay,
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's big time too. I always felt like Drake was gonna. I mean, like it was never in question. Drake was always gonna play in this game.
He's always going to
It's just
play,
like,
but I like to
yeah.
hear that he's like, yeah, I feel great.
Yeah.
And not like, yeah, I'm kind of nursing something in my throwing shoulder because that's all.
Yeah.
After a game
it's
where he was like
encouraging.
throwing balls in the dirt. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I hope it's not just saying that to say it. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, there was never a doubt he was playing, and I think getting this time off is and all this being able to get the treatment and even just taking. Probably for him, he's been throwing. How many days this year has he not thrown a football? So even just being able to take like a couple of days not throwing, probably did him well.
Yeah, I think he talked about too. He's like, this has been a long, long season. Like I've never played 20 football games before, which not many guys in history have. Let's be honest. Like this is the longest. These seasons now are the longest you're going to see, especially if you haven't been playing in the wild card round. So, of course he's got bangs and bruises. I think it's good for the whole team. Sounds like Harold Landry's kind of iffy to play on Sunday.
Yep.
I don't know. I was hoping he could get healed up, but it doesn't sound like he's feeling great.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna try. I feel like he's gonna be active. I think like he's a veteran. He's been in this league for so long. He was with Vrabel for so long. I feel like he's gonna be like, Coach, you just gotta let me active. Let me try and give you like as many snaps as I can. And if I can't do it, I can't do it. Put Elijah Ponder, put the other guys in the game, Jennings, whoever. But you gotta let me be active. Let me at least try it out. I feel like he's gonna at least give it a go.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, with that, any other thoughts on things we've heard on Media Week? We're ready to talk.
I mean, not to look forward too much, but it was an interesting thing I saw. You hear Rossini talking about Max Crosby.
Did see
I
that.
did.
Just an interesting. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. Let's but it was just an interesting thing when you saw it. I was like, okay, shit.
He said he liked to play for Vrabel, right?
Yep.
I don't even know what would a trade for a guy like that look like.
Who knows? I mean, it'd be significant, but
like I'm
Two
seeing
first-round
people
picks.
float like I don't see he's 20. He's 28. He's not that old, but yeah, I just feel like those trades end up not working out a lot. It's like if you get a guy like kind of like NFL 28, you're already on the back nine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like first round pick, you can get a guy like Matt Crosby if it works out. You have him forever. So
yep,
not forever, obviously, but yeah.
And then another one is just the Vrabel busting with the boys stuff.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Dude, absolutely hilarious.
So he said he cut his dick off for his
because I think it was last year or the year or a couple of years ago he was on with them, and they asked Taylor Lewan and Will Compton asked him, was like, hey, would you cut your dick off for like winning a Super Bowl as a coach? And he like thought about it. It was his initial reaction was super funny. He's like, well, I've been married 20 years, this and that type of thing. So then it carries over now, and they ask him about it. And Vrabel's comment back was like, yeah, you know what I've been telling people is, yeah, I'll just cut half of it and I'll have 6 left.
That's great.
Dog.
I'm kind of at
Might
that point too,
fuck, he
man.
might not be
I'm
lying.
ready for
It's a
this
big
game.
fucking dude.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, with that, let's talk. Let's talk Super Bowl. So I just want to start off, man. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, just what an amazing opportunity this is for Drake Maye. I mean, we've been on it early. He's early on. We were calling this. He's on track for one of the great second seasons in the history of the NFL. He's going to finish top 2 MVP. I think we find out tomorrow night if he wins it or not. He was off the charts in every advanced stat, leading the league. I mean, we talked about, I think the first time he came on the podcast, about usually when these guys end up becoming stars, it happens in year 2. It doesn't take that long. Like, same with Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, after this amazing season we've had, these last few weeks have been a struggle for him. I mean, they've won the games, but he has not looked as good as he did during the regular season, where like he looked, is like the best quarterback in football. The offense, by basically every metric, has not been very good. They play great defenses. The supporting cast that he elevated so well hasn't really been up for the challenge as much. Shitty weather, whatever you want to call it. However, the team's done enough to win these games. I think in that Denver game, a lot of it was don't turn the football over. The defense will win. This is a team game. And here we are. He's in position to win the Super Bowl with a great performance Sunday night. Just an incredible opportunity ahead of him to stamp himself in history with really probably this. If they win this game and he plays great, probably will go down as the best second season any QB in the history of the NFL has had. I mean, other guys have won in year 2. You got like Big Ben, Russell Wilson, Brady obviously did it. Kind of a weird situation. Mahomes was his second year as a starter, third year in the league. And I think the biggest question for this game, and really what will determine it more than anything else, is how will he play? Can he get back to that level where he's just putting the team on his back, making great throws, making plays out of structure, looking like a superstar quarterback? Or is another really tough defense going to bog him down? So that's what this game is going to come down to more than anything else. I don't think they can win another game where the offense isn't very good. So, yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is, he needs to play well for us to win. I think everyone knows that. And it doesn't, honestly, I don't even think it needs to be him going out and throwing for 350 and having 3 touchdowns or anything like that. Like, I don't think it necessarily needs to be that. But I think he needs to be efficient. I think is really what he needs to be efficient, high completion percentage, don't turn the ball over, make some big plays, like get some X plays. And I think just be able to like be in control of the game where you don't feel like he's back there and he's kind of like flailing or he's missing a bunch of throws or, doesn't look in rhythm or whatever it may be. Just go play your game. I think that's really it.
Yeah, we're not going to win this game if Drake Maye completes 55% of his passes, which he's been doing in the playoffs. We won't win it that way. He has to give his receivers opportunities for those like contested catches plays that we saw a lot of in the regular season. Like Kayshon Boutte was excellent at this a lot of the regular season. We have to give guys opportunities to get plays, especially if like as great a player as Devin Witherspoon is, he is a small cornerback. If you would get a bigger wide receiver matched up on him, if you can create a mismatch where you get like a Mac Hollins on him or Kayshon Boutte, a bigger guy, to create those contested catch opportunities, you have to take those shots. And he was great at it in the regular season. So that's something that he's going to have to do. And one thing that he's done very well in the playoffs that he's going to have to continue doing is use his legs, continue to use his legs, pick up key third downs with his legs, and then really force Seattle to be in a zone the entire game. Because if they're just going to play like, if he's not running well, and they're playing man coverage a lot, then it's going to be really easy for some of these pass rushers to get home from him on the interior, and it's going to make life very, very difficult. So he should look to run early. I remember, we were texting in our group chat during the AFC Championship game, and I was like, can we get a couple of designed runs for Drake Maye? And then like 3 plays later, they scored the touchdown on the design run. So I'd like to see that early in this game.
Yeah. Seattle, I had stat they're 16th in EPA per play on scrambles, which is kind of a weird stat. It's just like scrambles are not a huge sample there, but it's like, yeah, it's the Super Bowl. He's gonna have to run. There's no more games this season. You can't save his health anywhere else. And I mean, yeah, like just looking at EPA, I think I might have mentioned these stats, but we'll go through them again. I mean, Pats on the third ranked offense, the Seahawks the 10th ranked, or second ranked defense. This is including the playoffs. We were first in passing. They were fifth in passing allowed. They were first in rush defense by like a very, very thick margin. Like their rush defense is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So we were 25th rushing the ball. Like I said the other day, their rush EPA per play was the second place team was closer to the 19th place team than they were to Seattle. So they were really tough. I think a lot of that's that they were really, really good on like third and fourth and short situations, which those will be the situations that really impact EPA a lot. But those are big plays, right? So when we get in those third and fourth and shorts, we're probably going to have to throw the ball. I mean, as good as that defense has been, they did allow big passing games to Stafford a couple times. Mayfield tore them up. We talked about that last time. So it's going to be doable. I think something else that I've heard mentioned a lot is that they don't do as well against out of structure plays. Like, he can make plays in the run. That's how you can beat that team, get out of the pocket. He was so damn good at that this season that if these guys can protect him, let him get some time, he can't take sacks, right? He's been sacked on 45% of pressures this postseason.
Yeah.
The worst quarterback in the regular season in that stat percent of pressures sacked on was Geno Smith at only 26%. So I don't know. That's like totally out of whack with just how bad that number is.
That's scary.
Yeah.
And I think that's because he probably got caught on a couple trying to make those extended plays and he was so, I don't want to say like maybe a little shell shocked of like turning the ball over, fumbling, this and that, where maybe he just started to just take sacks because nothing was there. Or he was starting to feel the rush again because he was getting hit. He wasn't keeping his eyes downfield in the pocket. Or who knows? It could have been a lot of factors because, yeah, I mean, offensive line have clearly had some struggles and, maybe just affected him being comfortable back there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a different game than what we've seen, right, from some of the other playoff games, right? So the other playoff games, the other defenses, they're great. Their pass rushers were great from like the edges. Seattle, they have good pass rushers from the edges, but they're really where they kill you is their interior on their defensive line. That's where the game is going to be won for the Patriots offensively, is if Jared Wilson, Garrett Bradbury, and Mike Onwenu have great games and can keep a clean middle of the pocket because they have Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, are really excellent players interior for them. Leonard Williams has had like a career resurgence on Seattle this year. He's been one of the best players in the NFL. So, and that's going to be a tough matchup for Jared Wilson. He's a rookie going up against like a grown ass man, in Leonard Williams. So, not saying that like, well, of course, Will Campbell and Morgan Moses will have to play well, but I don't like, knock on wood, I don't see like DeMarcus Lawrence having the same impact on this game as say like Will Anderson did a couple of weeks ago, for the Texans. So that's going to be important for the Patriots is their interior of their offensive line.
Yeah, it's almost like the inverse what we talked about the other day.
Yeah,
and I think for us.
Yeah, and I think within that, like a big part of it to bounce off of what G was saying, I think it's honestly more the left side of that line because they're going to test the left side of that line, and they do a great job. Similarly to the Patriots defense, they run a lot of stunts.
Yep,
a lot of stunts, and they
different from Houston in that way.
And they rotate again, very similarly to the Patriots. They rotate a number of guys, so they're going to be fresh. And again, they're going to test that Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, passing those off and staying true to their keys and things like that because that's been a problem for them all year. So they're going to test it.
Yeah, I think somebody was saying, I think it was like Mike Giardi, he was saying like the Seahawks pass rushers interior, they're not huge. Like Leonard Williams, like 305. But like the guys Wilson have struggled with have been just the monsters who are way bigger than him. So that could be something that helps us. Campbell, I think he said he finally felt healthy in that Denver game, like finally felt like himself after the MCL. So, he got another couple weeks. Hopefully he can look even better. But yeah, I mean, another stat that I forgot to say before. Maye's EPA under pressure this postseason, he would have been dead last in the NFL in EPA per play. when facing pressure. In regular season, he was the best. So
Mm-hmm.
small sample in the playoffs, and that meets the eye test, right? Like he hasn't made those plays he made all season. So that's like what a lot of this game is going to come down to, I think, is he able to make those plays where Seahawks do generate a lot of pressure. They were fourth in the NFL in pressure rate, 38% of dropbacks they generated pressure. I mean, like you said, DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Murphy, Uchenna, Nwasu, Leonard Williams, Boye Mafe, they all had over 40 pressures, all 5 of those guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's like our offensive line, it's a huge challenge for them. They're going to need to step up. That's definitely the biggest key.
And they don't blitz a ton either. Most of this pressure they generate is with 4. So it's not like, they're the 85 Bears running 6 guys at you. This team gets home with 4 usually. And again, it's what Cal said. They run a lot. And it's a lot of late stunts that they do, before you even have an opportunity to kind of diagnose it pre-snap. Now, the one advantage of that, though, is if you get this picked up, right, if you pick up one of those stunts and one of those gaps, that is a wide open running lane for Drake Maye to take off where he could probably, we're talking scoot 20, 30 yards a pop if they get it cleaned up right, if they do stunt and he's able to evade and get out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I think this is where, again, as always, I think protection, if we could protect him and bouncing off of what G, because I think this is going to be a huge part of the game, is Drake Maye's legs to force them into zone, because Drake Maye has been so good against zone this year. And honestly, our receivers have shown an inability to get open consistently against man. So if we can obviously get them in the zone and be able to protect and give Drake time to work back there against zone, I think we should be able to move the ball a little bit. But those are obviously all ifs.
Yeah.
But I think getting him in the zone is going to be a big key.
And generate those explosive plays. I mean, we were first in explosive play rate in the regular season, and that's just totally diminished in the playoffs. I think I saw a stat of like 18% of their plays this season were explosive plays, which is passes of 16 plus or runs of 10 plus. Seattle was 8th in explosive play rate allowed. So if they're not like the Chargers where they were like first, so you can get big plays, especially get out of the pocket. And we saw the Rams get a bunch of them against them in the NFC Championship. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like part of the reason too. I think it's so much of May is going to be important because how tough it's going to be to run the ball. I mean, they were just outstanding stopping the run this year, best in the NFL by EPA, by DVOA, any number you want to look at. So, here's a question I have for you guys. Like, I've heard some people say, like, it's got to be a game. You got to keep the run honest. They're like, oh, the Rams were able to run the ball. The Rams had the best rush success rate all season. I mean, they were, it's not the same as us. Might this be a game where we just have Drake drop back 40, 45 times? Or is it like,
No.
even if you're running for 2 yards, you got to still run the ball?
Not 40, 45 times. We do that.
Yeah.
We're going to get our ass kicked. No way. I would not want them to do that. You have to try. You can't just go in and have your game plan and be like, well, we don't think we can run it all, so we're just going to throw it 50 times from Jump Street. You have to try to establish the running game. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson is leading the NFL in rushing yards this playoff. So, I know it hasn't been perfect and it hasn't been great, but you do have to run the football. And again, the Seahawks are great at it, but they only commit to they don't load the box really. And it was so impressive that they've been able to stop the run that way they have it, because they're not a team that loads the box that well. But you have to try and I'd run right up Mike Onwenu and Morgan Moses' ass and see what you can do. I wouldn't just completely abandon it.
Yeah, I think you have to, and I think you have to be super, to use a variable phrase, you have to be super intentional of what you're running. I don't think this is a game that you try to throw a bunch of stuff at them and hey, let's give them a look. Let's give them multiple looks of running the ball. Let's try some outside zone. Let's try some inside zone. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's try some pitch tosses and stuff like that. No, I think where you can probably have some success, and that's right up the middle. If you have to run A gaps on both sides. You have to get right behind Mike Onwenu, run A gap, run duo. Run duo, inside zone in the A gap, and then I think we saw it last week. I think a big thing, and I hope Josh McDaniels obviously was watching film last week from the Rams, and I assume he is, but draws. Draws are going to be, I think, a huge, huge key for us to be able to move the ball on the ground, because it just creates different lanes. It gets some of these guys upfield. It slows them down a little bit, and just gets them upfield. Creates different rushing lanes. Allows some Bradbury or someone to easily get to the second level when the linebackers aren't, cruising downhill.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. I think they played only 6% of their plays in base. Like they're always a nickel or dime, and I think that was the lowest rate. So they're able to be in pass coverage sets all the time and still be the best in the league against the run. And I think like you said, they vary a lot of coverages. You don't know who's coming, who's going.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can Nick Amon worry is a huge part of that, where he's like a linebacker safety all in one, and he's just a playmaker.
Yep.
Going through some of their key guys. I mean, Devon Witherspoon, like you said, he was the number one PFF grade among all defensive backs in the NFL this season. They got some really good players this team. DeMarcus Lawrence still doing it at the defensive end. Like you said, Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy up front. Safety Julian Love. PFF loved him too. So there's a lot of good, solid players on this defense. It's kind of similar to our defense, I would say. I think these teams are honestly kind of similar in some ways. But
there's a lot.
There's guys you can get at, though.
One other thing, I guess, if you got something to add, but
I was going to say the Seahawks were 26th in the NFL this year in terms of yards allowed per game to the tight end. So this has to be a Hunter Henry game. He played well in the first game against the Chargers, I thought, but he hasn't done much since the last couple of weeks. I think this is a game where we're going to, again, have to exploit some of their younger guys. Like, I know Amendolar's been like great young safety rookie, but like, Hunter Henry's a veteran. Like, let's get him involved. Let's get him going. Again, there's a reason why they gave up all those yards to tight ends. There are opportunities there.
Yep, and what I was about to bring up kind of leads into that. Is interesting stat. Seattle's defense faced the 6 linemen like super jumbo set that we run, where we extra linemen, 6 linemen, 2 tight end, kind of Mac Hollins. How we run. We've seen that so much this year from the Patriots. Seahawks defense has seen that at the lowest rate in the NFL this season. So, I mean, granted, it's not a large sample size, but they've been decent at it. They've been pretty good at it. But I think that's something where you can get them to change that out of what they want to be in. That's a way that McDaniels can dictate packages and make them have to take someone off the field in the defensive backfield, bring an extra linebacker in, and then that's opens up some play action, or just opens up some design stuff that you can do to attack them. I think especially with the tight ends, whether that's Hunter Henry or Austin Hooper. So,
or even Mac Hollins using them in those sets. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. I mean, it's interesting to see if they do that. Where you come out, you 6 linemen, right? You come out with a couple tight ends. Like, how are you going to play nickel when you have all these big boys out there? Like, challenge that. I'm surprised that the Rams, because I know the Rams were doing a lot of that this season. So, surprised they didn't use much of that against them. Yeah, I mean, I think the kid Rick Wallen's a guy you can maybe pick on. He seems, I mean, the penalty he had was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in the NFC Championship. He's got like pretty kind of up and down player. I think the linebacker Ernest Jones, they said he was a leading tackler, but he's kind of like PFF didn't think he was all that great. So it's not like this is like a perfect team, right? They've been a really strong unit, but against great offenses, teams have been able to score on them plenty. And it's like, I don't think we're going to need 35. Like we talked about it, obviously, in the first part of the preview. We really like the way our defense matches up with their offense. So, if we can really get to Darnold, and this might be a game we need to score 20 points, I think we can get to 20. Do I think we can get to 30? Maybe not. It depends, though, right? Like, if we just get Drake Maye just gets in the zone in the Super Bowl and goes out and wins this game, he might be able to get to 30.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, can these guys get open? Can Diggs get open a lot? Can Mac Hollins and Booty? They have been great. He's going to have to throw contested balls, too. Like, it's almost like he's been afraid of throwing picks. He's going to have to be like, hey, he's pretty tightly covered. I'm Drake Maye. I can make any throw. I'm going to have to jam it in there. I might have to throw a pick in this game, right? Like, this is going to be a tough game. I can't play it safe. We can't afford to keep going 3-and-out like we have in previous weeks.
Scared money don't make money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. So Um, I've got some keys and then some key players before we get to a prediction. I don't know. So my number
Yeah.
one key was can't emphasize enough. Need good Drake May. I need like that Baltimore game version of Drake May where he's just dialed in. And I think they play a pretty similar style, right? McDonald came over from
Oh yeah.
Baltimore. It's a lot of zones. So I mean, I saw highlights of that game recently, and it was like, he was locked in that night. We get that version of Drake. I don't care who we're playing. I love our chances. Where he's just putting throws on the money down the field, doing everything it takes to win.
Yeah, I mean, we said at the start, basically, Drake Maye needs to play well. Like, we need that. So, I mean, he's the obvious. We go as he goes, as he goes, so.
Hard to win a Super Bowl if your quarterback sucks. So yeah, I mean, Drake's gonna have to play his best game of the year. So I think we can all agree on that. Another guy I want to highlight is Jared Wilson. I think he has got his biggest test, I think, of his young career right now, going against that interior. So he's gonna be critical. He can't play like he played in the Chargers game. He's gonna have to really play well on Sunday night. That's a big guy for me.
Yeah. I would say even, I don't know if you have this on your list, but I mean, even before Drake, I have this first thing I wrote down is Josh McDaniels is as big of a factor in this game as any player on the field. He has to, I'm putting it on Josh McDaniels to get Drake Maye in rhythm, get him comfortable, scheme up some stuff. You've had 2 weeks to look at this defense. You're as good in the game as anyone at scheming some stuff up, and you've seen everything. You've seen everything as an offensive coordinator. So, like, I think it's up to him to get Drake going.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
He's the best
I think
offensive
that's a great
coordinator in the
call.
history of the NFL. He is. Like, Josh McDaniels, objectively, is the best offensive coordinator in the history of the NFL. That's why a big reason why I like the Patriots to have a great chance to win this game is because of our coaching staff and because of our advantage in that area. Again, having the 2 weeks to game plan, to look at everything that they do well. And one thing I think that's always been underrated about Josh McDaniels is it's never really mattered about like the personnel that he's had. He's always worked well to just what he's had. It's like, okay, well, yeah, he was a coach when they had, Randy Moss and Wes Welker and Dante Stallworth. Okay. And then they were that, spread it out team. And then it's like, okay, well, now we have Rob Gronkowski, we have Aaron Hernandez, we have the 2 tight end team. It's like, okay, we're going to destroy teams middle of the field. Now he's got this young dynamic weapon in Drake Maye. He had the Cam Newton offense that he made functional. He had Mac Jones that he was made a Pro Bowler. He's always worked well with whatever he's had. So I fully expect him to have a really good game plan, to know how to attack this defense. And he's been in these spots again. This is his 10th Super Bowl.
Yeah, he can certainly stamp that reputation if he wins this one.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we should have good weather in this one. And I do think, I think a lot of that's being overlooked with like how bad we've looked. It's just been some tough weather games the last couple games,
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yes.
think what leads into that too is like we need an offensive. If Drake's gonna have a great game, some of these skill guys got to step up. I'm excited to see what Diggs has, man. Like this kid, we've called him Mr. Bright Lights, Mr. Prime Time all year. All those Sunday night, or I guess it was only a few, but the Sunday night games where he was on another level of just jacked up to play football. I think we're gonna get that vibe from him Sunday. I mean, it's the Super Bowl. What else? What else is he saving that for?
Mm-hmm.
So if he can get open, make some plays, he's gonna be key. I'm interested to see what they do with Travion Henderson because it feels like a game where we could use a big play from him, but a little bit easier said than done. Like we said, he played 4 snaps last game. Does he get in the field more? Do they trust him to pass block against his pass rush?
That I don't know. I think if we're gonna use him, it's gonna be, honestly, if we're gonna use him, I think it's gonna be in like empty or 2 back sets or something like that. Try to get him involved in the pass game because I think that's a spot where you might be able to have some success against this defense. Is if you get Travion matched up on a linebacker and covering, you play 2 back, like 2 back, and you keep Ramondre in to protect or something like that. Because I just don't know if this is the game where you say, okay, Travion, we trust you to pass block now, especially with how good Ramondre's been.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking maybe they get involved in the screen game for the first. They're on their first successful running back screen of the season this week.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I got my prop of the year, Travion Henderson, over 17.5 yards on Sunday. That's what it said at. I feel like he's going to break one. I feel like he's due, even though he only had a couple carries the last game. I feel like he's going to break like a 30 or a 40-yard rush in this game. Just a gut.
Is that rushing and receiving or
Just rushing?
okay?
Just rushing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, like we said, hopefully they get him involved in the kick return game. But yeah, they could really use a play. I mean, he's been a couple of these tight games we've played where he's busted games open, even in the Bills game that we lost.
Yeah.
We've hit most of my key guys. I don't know. You guys have any more you want to throw in there?
I think
Yeah,
Pop
yeah.
Douglas. Pop Douglas is going to make a splash play.
Love it.
I don't know why I've been seeing it for 2 weeks. He's just going to he's going to get a matchup that I'm going to feel good about. And it's going to be one of those deep crossers, or it's going to be something like that. And I've just been seeing it. He's going to make a splash play.
Love it. I'm just going to go Hunter Henry. I think, just like you said, Brew, Diggs has been waiting a long time to play in this game. Diggs been waiting 11 years to get in this game. Hunter Henry's been waiting 10 years to get in this game. I think he's going to play pretty well. He's going to help out his young quarterback and make some plays. I think Hunter Henry's going to have like 60 or 70 yards receiving in this game.
Got that week off to get a little fresher too. I mean, if all these guys have a good game, we're gonna win this game comfortably. I was gonna say, see something from Kayshon Boutte, make him score a touchdown.
Yep.
So
I took him anytime.
I mean, I like that. He's a touchdown guy. Yeah. No, I mean, I do feel like the weather thing. Like, I feel like they're gonna be able to get their offense going much better than they have. Like, I feel like. I mean, I've. That being said, I was saying this exact thing going into the Denver game, and it did not happen at all. So, I'm obviously hoping it as much as I think it will. But we saw, like, it was funny. I was talking to some kid at work today who's not a Pats fan, and he was saying, like, yeah, I don't think they're going to win. They've looked so bad offensively. And I'm like, the thing is, if you've actually watched them all season, they were so freaking good offensively for 17 weeks, for the large majority of 17 weeks that, like, if you've actually watched the team, I think that's why so many Pats reporters even are like, yeah, I think they're going to win. Because you follow them all season, man. They've won 16 of 17 games. They've been such a tough, football. They're so good at executing what they want to do, like making little advantages. Right? It almost, I was thinking this yesterday, they almost feel like Belichick's Patriots had a baby. Like, it's like they do all these little things, like that. What Vrabel's been doing with the holding the defensive lineman when the offense subs, and all these little like game management things, and just being a little bit sharper and better coached than the other team, and giving them the little margins and the edges, which was the staple of what Belichick did with the Patriots for 20 years. It feels like they're very similar in that light. And it's hard not to be confident if you've watched them all season. Obviously, they're playing a great team. It's going to be a tough game, but I can't wait. I can't believe the spread's 4.5, man. I can't see them getting like smacked in this game. It hasn't happened all season,
Yeah, I definitely don't see him getting smacked in this game. And again, I just to what you said, bro. I don't know. I just trust this coaching staff. I just trust this coaching staff. I trust these players. They're gonna compete their fucking ass off, and I trust the coaches to put them in the right position to do so.
Yeah, this weather too. It's going to be 65 and sunny. That is like Drake Maye, Travion Henderson, perfect weather. That's why I feel like you're right. They haven't used Travion. I love Ramondre. Ramondre should get like the majority of the touches, majority of the carries. But I think they're going to sprinkle in Travion a little bit. I think he's going to get a little bit more work than he did the last game or two. I think he's going to have an impact. This is good for us that we're finally getting like a regular weather game for our offense to be able to showcase what they can do.
Yeah, it's like if you just get a regular Pats offense game from the regular season, like a 60% of the regular Pats offense game, you feel like they got a pretty damn good chance of winning this. I mean, we obviously talked a lot about the other edge. Yeah, go ahead, Cal.
No, I think just because I didn't want to forget it, because I when you were talking about we were talking about Josh McDaniels, I think these first 3 games, for the most part, like at least the last 2 with some of the weather, and especially the AFC Championship, McDaniels has probably called it close to the vest on some of these games, where like he hasn't had to need like hasn't needed to be like super aggressive with some of these play calls and like really like taking some shots, calling some stuff for like some like real chunk plays and like coming out and knowing like, hey, we're going to be aggressive. This isn't just a like, hey, let's make sure we control the ball. Let's make sure we do this. Let's make sure we do that. Like, I think there's still those aspects to it, but like we haven't seen McDaniels really like get after it a little bit on the offensive side. So I'm
Yeah, he
hoping
hasn't really
that
been
that
able
opens
to.
some stuff. Yeah,
The
that's what
weather
I'm
the
saying.
last 2 games, it was really, I mean, with the protection issues, it was just so, I mean, yeah, they gotta protect. If they come out and, like, let's give the Seahawks team a lot of credit. The 3 games they lost were by a total of 9 points. They've had a really, really great season. I mean, they're a hell of a football team. If they win the Super Bowl, they'd be a totally deserving champion, obviously. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't be, but, they've had a great season. I think that there's, like, reason that they should be a slight favorite in this game. I still think the 4.5 is way too much. You know, I think people got caught so much up in the bad schedule thing, and it's like, just because you didn't have a good schedule doesn't mean you're not an awesome football team. You know, it's like the stupidest thing. So many people are like, "Oh, bad schedule." It's like, we're in the fucking Super Bowl, man. Like, what are we talking about here? This team is in the Super Bowl. They're one game away from stamping themselves down as one of the great
Forever.
stories in the history of the NFL. You know, that's where we're at right now. I can't believe we're in this position. Any final thoughts from you guys before we make predictions?
I just love all the disrespect this week. I just love all the disrespect, and I'll say I'll save it for when I give my score prediction. Go ahead. We can go. You go first, bro.
Yep.
I'm going. I wrote this down the other day. 20-19, New England. An absolute barn burner, burn it down, tight game where they just pull it out late. It's gonna be miserable to watch and just stressful. And there's gonna be some awesome plays, some big touchdowns, and the defense gets enough to win the game late.
I like it. I mean, I'm not far off. It's a 17-14 game, Pat.
I got 21-17 Patriots. And, just usually like in life when everybody is like, oh, this team's so great. They're awesome. I don't think I've seen one person pick the Patriots to win this game. And usually like the media who doesn't know anything about football or they don't know anything about life, when they're all on one side, usually they're wrong. So I feel like, that's just how it's going to go. I feel like we're going to score a touchdown late. Sam Darnold's going to be driving. People are going to think it might be his moment. And then Marcus Jones is going to end it and pick him off. And that's how we're going to win the Super Bowl.
That would be amazing.
It would be pretty amazing if
It
we
would be fitting for Marcus Jones.
Imagine we win on a field goal late to win by 3. I mean, that would be special. I will say too, as much as like it does seem like a lot of people are picking the Seahawks, but I feel like there's a few guys like the NFL. I've been listening to so much shit this week. Like I can't get enough. And
yeah,
the analysts that I tend to think are better analysts, like the people who really know their football, are like, this Patriots team has a very good chance of winning this game. Like they're like, this is a toss-up game. I think they can win. Like I think this team is being totally disrespected, and it's almost like people that just kind of like, analysts who they watch the league as a whole. They didn't watch a ton of Patriots 1 o'clock games. Like people really missed a lot of our best moments, I think, of how good we were. And like they just, because they were beating bad teams, it was like, oh, it doesn't matter that they won by 25 against a shitty team, which like should still matter. So I don't know, man. I'm so excited. I mean, obviously none of us were going to come on here and pick them to lose. Like everybody who's watched this team all season, like we said, they're going to feel like they can win this game for good reason though, So
is it crazier? I feel better about this game than I did going into Denver. I was like 50-50 on going into Denver. I didn't feel good at all going into that place because of how hard it is to play in Denver and that we've never won there. And I feel like the Broncos defense is maybe a little bit better than the Seahawks defense. I don't care what the stats say, I'm telling you what my eyes think. I don't know. I feel better about this game than I did than the AFC Championship game. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I don't know. And I feel like we got our stinker offense game out too in Denver.
If it wasn't for Stiddy, I was like, well, fuck it, Stiddy. We're gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, the same reasons you mentioned were scary, but it was like I just feel like I was saying going to that, I was like, there's a pretty good chance Stiddy just sucks on this game. I'm like, that's why we win, and that kind of was what happened. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, there's a lot of reason to feel like this team can go out there and beat this team.
There is. I will say, G, maybe you're a little crazy. I wish I had your perspective.
Yeah.
Because man, I'm like I said, I'm nervous, man. The Seahawks are a great fucking team. This defense is a great defense. I like. We said it before we hopped on real quick. It's just like when really like sitting down and trying to think and find like something that you felt really confident in this offense being able to do against this defense. There was nothing that was like a glaring thing or something was like, okay, this is something the Patriots do really well. This is something Seattle maybe struggles with, or like whatever it may be. Like with Houston, it's like, okay, they were really good defense, but you know what they're running. I trust that like we'll find a way to beat that because we know exactly what they're in. There was like, it was very tough to like really think like, okay, this is an area the Patriots can definitely have some success on, and like can build off of there and build off of that. It's
what's got to be
tough.
It's short fields because you first forced Sam Darnold into some turnovers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And it's like, in as much as they're they're awesome, right? They've played 2 games against a really good team in the past, 3 games against a really good team in the past since like mid-October, and it's those 3 Rams games. Like the 49ers by the end of the season were not a great team, right? They haven't played any other great teams. I mean, the first Rams game, Darnold threw 4 picks. The second one, they're kind of like pulled out of their ass. The third one, they won the conference championship at home. They got a lucky, like, the Rams fumbled the punt. The Rams were probably just as good, if not better than this team. The Rams were awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even like, there was like week 16, they had a last-second field goal to beat Phillip Rivers and the Colts. Like, it's not like this was like I think the DVOA stuff shows them so high because it was like the games they lost, they barely lost. And that's obviously, point differential is a huge thing when evaluating these like advanced stats and stuff. But they're a great team, but it's like they're still quarterback. But like Sam Darnold being the Super Bowl winning quarterback in itself is kind of a crazy storyline that may happen, but it's not like we're playing Aaron Rodgers in his prime. It's not like we're playing Brady in his prime, Peyton Manning. That this is a guy who, if he goes down there and plays a terrible game, like, would it be shocking?
No.
No.
Would you be stunned if we woke up on like, Monday morning and the headlines were Sam Darnold throws 3 interceptions, Patriots take advantage, win the Super Bowl? No, like I wouldn't be stunned by that. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's not a crazy. Like, I know I'm a little crazy. That's not a crazy thing to think that could happen. Like, when you have pumpkin DNA, which is what Sam Darnold does, he has pumpkin DNA in him. Like, you revert back to your natural state. Like, at some point, it may be at one point in the regular season, it might be in a playoff game, but when you play another great defense, which he's going up against a great defense and a great play caller and Vrabel's overseeing it. But Zach Orr's confused a lot of other really good quarterbacks, like Justin Herbert this year. He made CJ Stroud, he might have ruined CJ Stroud's career a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I don't see Sam Darnold like coming in and like destroying us. I think Seattle might score on like a special teams touchdown with like Shaheed. Shaheed scares me. His speed scares me. And their defense is no joke. They are legit. But I don't know. I'd have a hard time thinking Sam Darnold is going to come in here and like kick our ass to win this game. That's just me.
It's tough again.
And a quick CJ Stroud comment. Zach Kerr made CJ Stroud cut his hair.
He cut his hair?
Oh yeah, dreads are gone. Dreads are gone. He's shipping it. He's sending those right to Zach Kerr's house.
Wow. Yeah, and the last thing I want to say is it's like those pressure rate stats we talked about, when Darnold faces pressure, he's not good. How well we've done generating pressure from the interior, and how much we like that matchup. It just makes me feel like he's going to be uncomfortable all day. And it's like, what if Chason starts beating their tackles? Like, what if Chason has a day too? And it's like, man, we're just really getting this pass rush that's been outstanding all playoffs. They just have one more game where they're the difference makers on the field. That could be what wins us the game. And it's like, we have that, and we have the Maye. If Maye's just amazing, there's certainly formulas there for both teams to win this game. And
sure,
can't wait.
How fucking awesome would it be if Drake Maye goes out and throws for like 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and just looks so clearly the MVP and just goes off against this defense?
Wouldn't shock me, man.
Well, 400 yards and 4 TDs would shock me. I mean, that'd be like the greatest.
That's what I'm saying.
That'd be like the best game since Steve Young against the Chargers back in the day. But no, I wouldn't be stunned if Drake Maye has a really good game, throws for like 230, 250 yards, runs for another 40 or 50 yards, and has a couple of touchdowns, doesn't turn the ball over, and they play well and win the game. I mean, that's what he did every week during the regular season. So no, I wouldn't be like crazily stunned by that if he had a very good performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Quick, I think one thing I don't want to overlook here is like I think we need to give a quick minute to talk special teams. We did defense, we did offense. I know we've snuck in some special teams comments here and there, but like these are two of the best special teams units in the NFL. Two of the best returners in NFL history.
Yeah.
Between Marcus Jones and Shaheed. So it's like the only difference is their punter's probably better than ours, unfortunately. I don't think Behringer's been that great. But like honestly, I don't care. Just kick it out of bounds if you're Behringer.
Side note, did you guys see Bruce Brown's Instagram story? It was him wearing a Bryce Behringer jersey. It was like, good luck, Bryce. Like, what? They didn't go to the same school or anything. I looked it up. Like, what the hell is the connection in there? Totally random. But yeah, you're right. We didn't cover special teams at all, and it could be what decides the game.
Oh, I mean, the special teams are why the Seahawks are in this game. I mean, because
exactly.
You know what I mean? Shaheed is awesome. He scares me like a lot because like if I know Vrabel and Zach Orr and this defensive staff, like I think I know them. Jackson Smith-Njigba is awesome. He's a great player. They're not going to let him kill them. Like he's not going to have 12 catches for 158 yards. Like they're going to limit him. They're going to have bracket coverage. They're going to find ways to not let him destroy the game. When you do that, though, then you have guys like Raheed Shaheed, who's going to be like one-on-one. So whether it's like him catching a bomb or him, returning kicks back there, like he is a threat to touch the ball every time he touches it. They have a veteran kicker. They probably, again, like you said, Cal, they probably have a better punter than us because our punter sucks. But we do have a great, punt returner in Marcus Jones, one of the best in the history of the NFL. He's always a threat to score. See what Andy does. Big test for Andy. He's a rookie kicker. Kind of makes me nervous, but I don't know. So far, he's been good.
Yeah. I say you kick it out of the end on kickoffs. Don't give Shaheed a chance to return it. I don't think you give Shaheed a chance to return a single
What about just kicking to the other guy? I was thinking,
I don't think because the way they line up, I think he is always getting the ball. It's kind of. I think they both line up somewhere in the middle and track it down.
I'm with you.
But
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Don't let him ruin the game. It's much better to have Seattle start at 35, 40, whatever, than have Raheed Shaheed, who's a legit threat. He could. I mean, the game was over 2 seconds into the 49ers game.
Oh my God! Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you
don't
want that as a nightmare. Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah. And then you hope they kick to Marcus Jones and Marcus Jones can make a play because I'm waiting for one of them. I thought it was going to be last week. I felt so good about Marcus Jones changing field position, making a big play on special teams last week. So I'm. What better time would it be for a guy like that in the Super Bowl?
Be a hell of a time.
Yeah.
Have we ever got one in a Super Bowl?
A punt return?
No, we had a bunch in a conference championship.
Yeah, not in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
But yeah, any final thoughts? I mean,
no, I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
Let's be a long couple of days.
I mean, wanted to say it's been a hell of a ride, boys. Really have enjoyed doing this so much all season, and this won't be the end of the podcast by any means. We'll get something out. I don't know if we're gonna do it Sunday night. We're going to be watching Super Bowl parties. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe we put something quick together Sunday night late. Maybe I just talking to my phone driving home. I don't know. We'll text, but we'll obviously get some sort of recap out. We'll keep this going through the off season, but really want to thank everybody for giving us feedback all season. And hopefully this magical ride continues and the Patriots win the Super Bowl on Sunday night.
It'd be fucking crazy.
Crazy, man.
Thank you to our listeners. Unlike Tom Brady, we care about you guys. Thank you.
I can't follow that up. Go Pats.
But yeah, go Pats.
Go Pats.